maybe I'm not getting it, and if I'm wrong, then please correct me on this one. But take a look here. Video.
With investors focusing on China even more now, Professor Nouriel Roubini, also of course known as Dr. Doom, he's told CNBC that China's economy is just not big enough to drive the world out of recession.
I don't believe that China could be the main locomotive of global growth. The Chinese GDP is only 3 trillion. The one of the US is 15 trillion. Chinese total consumption is 1 trillion. US consumption is 10 trillion. So China is too small to be the main locomotive of engine of global growth. And there are even excesses right now in China, like fraud in the...
Okay, so he says that China is not able to consume enough to drive global growth. And I think that that's completely misdirecting the whole attention in this current debate, because as far as I know, in the last 10 years or something, China has been the engine behind global growth. You know, where are all those container ships going or coming from? They came from China. Why were all those terminals built, those harbors? Why was all the logistic chains built? Where did all the factories grow? They all grew in China. And where did all the consuming take place? In the US. And the combination between the US and China, while the US shipped worthless paper to China, and China shipped valuable goods to the US and let people work their ass off there, China was completely driving global growth. And the only thing that happened is that China realized that, hey, they weren't getting anything in return. And of course the banking system exploded and all that stuff went on, but right now, at the moment, China is just looking for every way they can to get rid of their worthless dollars, because they know it's a fake, and they won't do it anymore. So Mr. Roubini says, okay, now China is not able to consume enough in comparison to the US, and that therefore China cannot help. That's completely moronic, because in my opinion, even though he's like a celebrated economist, he's ignoring the fact that first of all, if China was consuming more, they would all produce the stuff themselves, you know, and if okay, if China would ship containers with paper to the US, and the US would start working their ass off and giving all kinds of stuff that they produce in the US to China, then China could drive the world economy. But of course the US would never buy that trick, while they did expect the Chinese to be the suckers to buy that shit. So maybe I'm wrong, but I think Mr. Roubini is just a little bit out of touch with the world he lives in, and he's also not giving the message that he should give, in my opinion.